Good evening, Knicks Nation. Welcome to the next edition of Sky Hoops Knicks Dream. To join the conversation, drop your comments in the chat room. This is a special episode because it's going to focus squarely on the trading deadline that's coming before us on Thursday. And so, with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic to our youngin. We passing the torch to the dream
Dream.
shaker himself. Dream, take it
Gentlemen,
away,
gentlemen,
Dream.
appreciate it. Thank you, and happy to be back after missing the last show. But this is important. What we have ahead of us in the next couple of days. There's for the last couple of months we've been talking about possibilities of this, that, and the other. Now teams are in a better position to understand what they bring to the table and what their future is going to be. Are they trying to make the playoffs, or are they trying to sell off and things of that nature? So the good thing is it's about 25 teams that are in either the buy, sell, or both market. Where they're trying to get rid of some guys and bring some guys in. So that bodes well for us to have a choice, I guess, and get in the mix of certain things. So I guess what we're going to do is I first want to say hello to my other guys, Bill Shadamas 2.0. Hello, hello. How you
What's
guys
up?
doing?
What's up?
And then now and we'll dive in now. Now everybody got their little chance. So I'm going to start with the buyers, just solely buying. We got mostly the contenders are in that kind of thing, right? So we got the Heat, Clippers, Lakers, and Nets all have. I have asterisks next to them because they're basically waiting for the buyout market. Those teams. But outside of that, you have the Heat, the Sixers, and Portland that are actively looking to add to their teams and their playoff rosters to try to make a run at what's going to be this year's title. Sellers, just straight up sellers: Raptors, Spurs, Kings, Pistons, Pelicans, Charlotte, the Mavs, Minnesota, OKC, Orlando, Houston. We got the Cavs and Memphis. That's a big list of
That's
sellers.
about everybody else on the. That's about what 10 or 15 teams there.
Yeah, like I said, 25 teams are out there moving and shaking right now. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for us, because we don't get stuck with having to overpay for somebody or, you know, be stuck with players we're not happy with. We could go after guys we really want to take a shot at them. They're just cool. And then I have the both category, where they're trying to send off a couple of guys and bring back a couple of guys. That category involves the Warriors, the Knicks, Atlanta, Chicago, and the Celtics. Okay, so that's what we have. That's just to start our list so that everybody understands, where we started at. So, I broke down my trade list into three categories once it comes to the actual players that we might want to chase. Uh, the players that the Knicks are currently targeting, available fits, and off-season trade. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the targeting, and these three guys, I'll just throw them out there. You guys tell me how you feel about them, and then we'll get into the numbers of how and what it will cost us to get them. The three guys are Lonzo Ball, 23 years old, Terry Rozier, 26 years old, and Victor Oladipo, 28 years old. So I'll just start with those three guys to throw them out there and see how you guys feel about it. And for this, I'll do jump balls, toss up, whoever wants to take it.
Yeah, I like to take a stab at that. Okay, so when you say that we are both we're in the buyers group,
We're
right?
into both.
We're in
Yeah.
the both buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Do you look? So before we get into that, do you think, or do you feel that the thinking of the Knicks staff is to break up what we have now and go out and start, trading out our rookies and our little core to go get, Alonzo Ball or Rozier. I'm not even going to put Oladipo in there. I think he's a little bit, he has injury issues. Okay,
Mhm.
he hasn't been right in the last couple of years, and I wouldn't want to even I wouldn't put him in my conversation about
Yeah.
wanting to get of the players that we could use or that I would like to see the Knicks acquire.
Yeah. All right.
However, what
I'll
would
start
it
with Lonzo
take?
Ball.
Right, what would it take to get those guys?
Honestly, right now Lonzo Ball is making 11 million a year, and he turned down is basically his extension. So his qualifying offer would have been at 14 million a year, right? So ultimately, bottom line, how I feel about Lonzo Ball is if the Knicks just don't want to play games, they already have 16 million in reserve. They could just go get him. It's not you don't have to really give stuff up. But the problem is now is that Atlanta and Chicago jumped in the mix, and I'll give you some of their offers that have been rejected already. You ready? So for Chicago, it was this guy named Thomas Satoransky and a second round pick, and they said no. That was just for Lonzo Ball straight up. And Atlanta threw in Cam Reddish and a second round pick, and that's still being considered because it's a little bit stronger of a player. But what New Orleans is technically looking for is they want to pull a first round pick out of somebody. And they haven't gotten that offer yet, or a first round pick or somebody who's a young player coming up. So we could kind of give them a little bit of that. We could definitely give them the first round pick, right? That would satisfy him in that essence. And then the other people I was thinking about throwing into offer are Knox and Burks, right? Because Knox is, I think I told you the other day, one-on-one, we were talking 2.0, that what the Knicks did early in the season that was smart for them. And I think for two reasons they were trying to do this. So they took Knox's rookie contract and they took Barrett's rookie contract and flipped it into actual dollars, right? So what that meant was they flipped Knox into 4 years, 16 mil or something like that. So he actually counts like $4 million we could apply towards whatever, right? And then the same thing with Barrett, but Barrett's not in this deal. So, but with Burks makes the 6. So that's 10 million. Lonzo's making 11. We could absorb the other $1 million somehow. That's not that bad of a deal if we want to do Knox, Burks, and a first round pick. That's if we want to give up players. I said we could just go absorb them with the money. That's the other way around it. But I think what they want to do is we talked about David Griffin in the past. He's not going to just roll over for anybody. He's going to try to get what he wants out of the deal or a little better in most cases. So that's what we're dealing with when we're dealing with New Orleans.
And you're saying basically that in order to get him, New Orleans would want to get either Burks, Knox, and a second or first round pick.
They want a first round pick.
They want a first round pick.
That's what they're holding out for.
And some players.
And some players, but mostly a first round pick. If we told them we were going to give them this year's Dallas or New York's pick, they would. Okay, now we're already sitting in the catbird seat above the Reddish in the second pick. You know what I'm saying? Like we could just try to fill players in to equal what Reddish would bring them. I think Reddish is a decent player.
He is,
but that second round pick, they could do better than that for Lonzo Ball. That's how they feel.
But you also said that he rejected their offer, which means that he's willing to go into next season as an unrestricted free agent and make a deal for himself.
He's betting that he'll make 14 or more.
Which means that we can offer him that at the end of the season. And then have him coming in for next year, which is a third option.
That's off season, yeah. Okay. If you want to go that route. But the other thing is now, if you play that game, you're also leaving it the opportunity for Atlanta and Chicago to sweeten their deal as much as they can and try to go get them. And then if they sign them to a long-term deal, then we're out of that.
Right.
Out of the Lonzo Ball game, So and we need a point guard, so we need to really address these possibilities properly,
Right.
Anybody else? Go
ahead, Bill. I'll go after you.
Well, with regard to the 3 that you named, I would like for Ball to be on the team. However, I think a first and 2 players, and one of them being Burks, I think that may be a little too much. But if we're feeling that there's no other point guard that we're going to target, and this guy he's a very good player. So I would say he's worth a first round pick. If we have to give up the first, okay. But if we're throwing in Burks and Knox, then maybe they need to sweeten the pot on there and throw us JJ.
Maybe they could do that. They might
something like that. I would, I think we would. We'd be in pretty good hands doing something like that. As for Rozier, I'm not too high on Rozier as others are. Maybe because I haven't seen enough of him. although I do remember him when Kyrie went down, when he was over there at Boston, and he stepped up and played. He did.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah.
But is he that point guard that we're going to have around here for the next 8 to 10 seasons? I don't know. But I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I
He's
feel.
here. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, trading for him, though, specifically, he comes with 2 years, 18 this year and 18 next year. Then he becomes a free agent. So we could pick him up for the time being. If we don't like him,
Then
offload him.
that's an option.
That's another option,
That's an option.
Yeah, I picked Rozier more than Devontae Graham. I know we talked about Devontae Graham in the past, only because I read some things recently that Tom Thibodeau is more high on his defensive skills than a Devontae Graham, and that's more what he covets is defensive guards that can play offense, but you definitely got to play the defense for him. So he thinks Rozier is a better fit defensively than Graham. But Graham's also available. They're trying to offload Graham. That's like that's a lower end below the Rozier possibility.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Oladipo. I don't want to mess with him.
Yeah,
like
I'm in the
2.0
same bucket as you there. I'm in
like
the same bucket with the
2.0
Oladipo. Yeah.
Like 2.0 says, he's been injured the last couple of seasons, and the last time I saw him was it this season? May have seen him, and
he just came back a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think he's fully healed, firstly, and I don't think he's as skilled enough yet to be able to be greatly effective after losing the athleticism. So I don't want to mess with him. Okay, but I heard of some well, actually I didn't heard. I read something about Lauri Markkanen. I would still be interested in kicking those tires and seeing what they want. I'd give him a number one for him.
Yeah,
I would give him a number one easily.
Yeah. With Lauri Markkanen specifically, if they wanted to do a trade, I would force them to sign him first and then bring him here.
Then bring him over, right?
Then bring him here. So then we get him for 3-4 years, like whatever that's going to be. But tell him that because he already rejected the 4-year from them, so he doesn't want their money and he doesn't want to be there. So I would say, listen, if you want to come here, though, you need to lock it in first. So we know you're bringing him here and you're not going to be gone.
He's not going to be running in another year or two, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Your turn, Santana.
Okay, so this is what I feel about the Oladipo, the Ball, and the Rozier situation. So Oladipo I wouldn't touch. I think he's damaged goods, unfortunately. I think he's a good kid, a good player, but when you're dealing with the major injuries and he's coming back, he hasn't been the same. I don't expect him to get back to where he used to be. That's number one. Number two, trading for him when he's an unrestricted free agent in the making, I think is fool's gold. We don't need to go that route. We don't need to make that move because we be giving up more than what we're getting in return. Because this guy, I think he's making 19 million right now. Is that what he's making?
21
million. So he's gonna ask for that and then some. So I'm not even touching him. In terms of Rozier, I don't think Rozier would be on the trading block at this point because LaMelo now is out.
I was going to say that just happened. Yeah.
Right, indefinitely.
It might end this season. Yeah.
He fractured his wrist.
Yeah, I heard for the season he's done.
Yeah. So wow. I think now that makes Rozier that much more valuable to Charlotte. Yeah. I'd be surprised if they did trade him. I think in order for them to trade him, they would have to be getting something major in return to give him up because he's that much more valuable to them. So he would cost more to get. Lonzo, I absolutely would get. I would give up a number one pick. Yep. I would definitely give up a number one because he's a proven commodity. You know what I mean? He's already proven what he can do in this league. And I see him as Jason Kidd 2.0. That's what I see him. Okay? Because when Jason Kidd was coming up, when Jason Kidd was coming up in the league, he didn't even have a jump shot.
Not at all.
He didn't even have a jump shot. His effectiveness was attacking the basket. So he dribbled it, he rebound the ball from baseline to baseline. And yeah, he'll set people up, but he was dribbling. Lonzo, on the other hand, he gets a rebound. He's looking down court before he starts dribbling. That's already that's already another level, which is great.
He opens up the whole floor.
Exactly. The other thing about Lonzo is that when he shoots, he's shooting 37, 38% on the 3-point line. On what? This is what, year 3?
Yep.
This must be year 3.
Year 3.
Okay. Jason Kidd, when he came out, out of California, he wasn't a 3-point shooter any stretch of the imagination. That took time before he got to the level of where he's at today in terms of the most 3-pointers made. So I see Lonzo in that same trajectory that I see in Jason Kidd. That's why I would give up a number 1. And if I have to give up a couple of players, so be it. The key is, there's got to be a whisper campaign behind the scenes. Is he willing to re-sign? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
We need to have somebody find out if he can re-sign, because once we make that deal, we want to make sure, okay, we got you for the long term. Because we know we get that cat on this team, he's going to open up the floor. And guys are going to be able to run. Yeah. So that's my take on that. On the Lauri Markkanen, is that the Chicago shooter?
Kid, yeah.
Well, he
from Chicago,
he has 1 more year left on his contract.
Restricted. Yeah, he's restricted free agent.
Yeah, he has 1 more year left.
Yeah.
And I definitely like him because I think he'd be a great addition to our team. So he has 1 more year. We don't have to sign an extension right now. We could do that the following year. If we get him. Get him. So, I believe if anything, if we could get Lonzo and we could get that cat, then we good.
Yeah.
Then we good. That's the way I see it. So go ahead. 2 point. I mean, Dream. Go ahead. Take it up. Take it from there.
Well, no, I agree. I agree with all that. The only thing I would say about Oladipo, and I agree. He's only 28, but he's been through a few major injuries. The 21 million usually would scare me, but because of this development, this is the only reason I threw him on there, right? Because they were targeting him before. So when it comes to Oladipo, Orlando is already in the mix, right? With Houston, they're trying to trade out Aaron Gordon for him. The problem is both teams don't have enough to make a whole deal so the Knicks could jump in there as a third team to try to sweeten the deal, which means less has to come out of our pocket. No dollars. It would be Knox and a 2nd-round pick sent to Orlando. It would be Ntilikina and Rivers and a 2nd-round pick sent to Houston to bring him here. But I agree with everything that you guys say. This guy is damaged goods. We don't know if he's going to sign long term. But the only thing I was willing to put him down and talk about it for was because of the minimal amount that we have to actually give up to get him here. What he does here or anything like that, I don't know, that would be on him as a player to show us he's worth that kind of money going forward. But, expiring players that are leaving or guys that are out of here next year anyway or not even playing, I'm willing to shift all those guys around a little bit, That's with him. But we can step off of him if we all agree. That's not really somebody that we're interested in. Like I said, Rozier, yes, the update is now Lonzo got hurt, so that's that hurts the chances of pegging somebody like him. But they always have Graham sitting over there. I don't even know if they'll consider trading Graham now because that's such a hit to their guard rotation that they might want to throw Graham back in the guard rotation again and start with that. Outside of that, for me, Lonzo was the chase here. But once I found out Chicago and Atlanta started getting in the mix and I found out what they're offering, now I'm like, okay, so we need to be serious about this. Right. Throw out one of those 1st-round picks because they're refusing or they don't have them. So let's take advantage of what our advantage is. We have 4 first-round picks. Let's do something. Yeah. Let's get a jump on it. We don't have to send them 2, just 1, maybe a 2nd-round pick, and some of these other guys to replace their point production. They'll be okay. but they're really chasing the first round picks. Most guys are chasing first round picks because a lot of teams in the last 3 years have traded off their future first round picks, and now they're stuck with nothing. And now all the good players are starting to surface back up in the draft again, and they're all, oh, we need to get some of those young good players. So now it's a good time for the Knicks to take advantage of what we. I see. Boy, Poppy jumped in down there. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, King Poppy. King Poppy.
Poppy jumped in the cave. Hey, how you doing?
Hey. I've been out of the loop. I've been
So-
busy, and college basketball been on. But what up?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's blowing
sorry
up,
for
boy.
your loss.
Sorry for your Clemson Tigers.
Thank you.
Listen,
That
I just want to say
loss.
one little thing about the Lonzo deal, okay,
Go.
is that he's interested in coming to the Knicks, and the Knicks like him, okay.
Yeah.
They would. What I'm hearing is, and what I'm reading is, there was a New York Post article in which the Knicks are willing to wait to work with him when he becomes a free agent next year.
I know,
That, you know,
he may
that
not get
we
there.
have to take it. He may not get there, but they're willing to take that chance. And
Yeah, but if you
but I mean, I'm not the one that's saying that they should or shouldn't. I'm just giving you
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
information that I got. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's a good deal or a bad deal. If it blows up in their face, well, then it blows up in their face. I mean, we were supposed to get Zion, and it blew up in our face. So no matter how you
we
plan
didn't control
it,
that. We
right,
didn't control
but-
that. We
right.
control this.
To a certain degree, yeah, we control this, but the Pelicans have a major say in this, and like you said, other teams are interested too. I don't even understand why the Hawks are. Did you say the Hawks are interested in him?
Yeah, the Hawks want to put him
I
next
mean,
to Trae Young and move Trae Young
They
to the
already
2 spot.
got a glut at guard. Who they want to monopolize the whole guard industry?
Yeah, sometimes that's part of it too.
Okay,
But
maybe.
They
My
would
point
give
was-
up one of their forwards, to put him in this. I was surprised by it too, to be perfectly honest. I was, but I get it because that opens up Trae Young just to shoot from wherever, all over.
Right.
So that's
Okay, I can understand them wanting him for that purpose and stuff like that. But okay, what they think that Trae Young is going to turn into a Curry?
he's pretty much already there. He can shoot like him, whatever.
A little, yes. Okay, you could shut him down. You can't shut Curry down.
No.
Not
Okay,
anymore.
I'll give you that. I'll
Not
give you that.
anymore. So anyway, wow, it's a tough move to make because if it's going to cost us anybody, if it's going to cost us, I'm going to tell you right now, if it's going to cost me Quickly, Randall, and Obi,
None of that.
it's not a good deal.
It's Knox, Burks, and a first rounder.
Burks is even better than Obi and Quickly. That's a problem for me.
Yeah, but he's out here a $6 million contract anyway, so you might as well use it to your advantage. These guys are on expiring contracts. He's not even here next year, so
Who,
you
Burks?
either use him. Burks is on a 1-year deal.
But he
This is
might
the thing.
he could sign an extension though.
He might sign an extension. That's okay.
You know?
We could send him there. He could come back to us on $6 million if he wants to. That's fine. But you want to use your assets properly. And if now's the time to jump on something like that, remember the Yankees a couple of years ago? They gave up Chapman to Chicago, and they got Gleyber Torres. And what happened in the offseason? Chapman came right back to us. So
Oh no,
that's
but
what I'm saying.
they loaned him to Chicago for a year to bring him
For a
back.
championship. That was
That
fine.
was
Yeah.
right. That was a prearranged prenuptial agreement.
Hey, you could tell Burks the same thing. Bro,
Okay, that would be
doors
nice.
open for you, man. The door's open for
Okay.
you to come right back here.
What are you hearing on the Beal
Wait.
front?
Before you
Go ahead.
transition, let King Poppy
Let Poppy
weigh
talk
in.
Okay.
Give Poppy a chance to weigh his thoughts. Set up the deal that you were talking about.
Did you hear?
Dream.
Did you hear the three targeted by the Knicks? Okay, so
No, I
the
didn't get
three
to hear
people
that.
targeted. I'll give you the rundown real quick. So Lonzo Hall was the first one, right? And basically they would have to give up Knox, Burks, and a first round pick. Rozier was the second one, and then we have Victor Oladipo on the back end. Those are the 3 guards that the Knicks were targeting as of like a week ago. Some things have changed here and there. We know LaMelo went down, so that's going to affect the possibility of a Rozier thing, those type of things. But just your thoughts on You know, on all of them, would you like them here? Are they a waste of time in your mind? Those type of things. You know?
I think the Rozier will be a waste of time. I've not been. He's just been a roller coaster ride for me. I not
Okay.
followed him
And you see him more.
to right,
Yeah.
and I don't even follow him that much because he, even though he's nearby, it's nothing with him. Just bounces out at me that he's just that guy.
Yeah.
He's an athlete for sure. He's at where he's at. He gets paid to do what he does. He's better than most, but he's to me he's not that one. I was not a Lonzo guy, but I see that him being on the court gives other people opportunity to flourish. And I hadn't figured out why yet, but I'm starting to like. I used to hate him just based on his ugly shot. But at the end of the day, I can't be that way. That's being too judgmental.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after seeing him on the court, I see how other people flourish who really aren't that good, and the ones that are good get even better. So
Yeah.
I'm more on that Lonzo side, mainly because he's younger.
Yeah.
And there's room to grow, there's room to teach, there's room to coach, there's even room to change some bad habits and time to do that. And with everything around him that we got, and we got 3 first-round picks coming, man, I like that one better than anything that's on the table personally. I don't even have an opinion on the last one because I don't know that. I think we'd have to give up everything to get something like that. So I'd rather not even entertain it. Because I think we'd have to lose more than one first-round pick.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about with the Oladipo stuff. I only put it on there. We're talking about it because Orlando jumped in the mix, and they're willing to offer Houston Aaron Gordon. So, but they're looking for a third team to make this all work between all the teams. And I was thinking, as a third team, we wouldn't have to give up too much. A couple of second round pick over to Orlando, second round pick over to Houston, and a couple of players we're not really using, and then get them for a year. But like we all talked about, we're not even sure he's a good fit for what we do.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, conceptually, he's a defensive guard that scores, but
right. But essentially, we need a big man like that. But he ain't. I don't know how to put it. I don't know if he's the one.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm sitting there looking at throughout this college tournament. There ain't too many big men out there that's going on that's coming out to begin with. To be honest with you, there's no real true big man. Every big man nowadays, they're changing them and putting them out to shoot outside. I mean,
they're trying to make a big force.
Trying to make a big force, exactly. So there's more shooters on the ground. There's no. I mean, Evan Mobley out of he might be the next big man coming in. That guy out of Illinois, he's a big man, but even the guy out of Iowa, that is Iowa, I think.
Garza?
Big white guy. Yeah,
Garza?
He's good. He's good too, but he ain't. Again,
not above
he
the rim.
steps out right. He says he steps out to shoot 3 points too. So I don't know if we're gonna find what we really need to get us there. I've been thinking about this the past couple of days. There ain't no baby Shaqs. There ain't no Patrick Ewings. There ain't no big man out there like that no more. That part of the game is over. But we got to have something similar to that to get to the next level. And I don't know who it is.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Turner.
Some good ones out there.
The guy from Indiana, man.
Turner.
Oh,
yeah.
I read that too.
He's available. A lot of people are chasing him.
Yes,
a lot of guys. A lot of them go after him.
He'd be a great fit for us.
Yeah. I didn't have him down, so I don't have a bunch of.
Oh man, yeah, no, that's absolutely. I read that this afternoon sometime.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people are chasing him and stuff, but I didn't feel that the Knicks were being on him. You know, I think they want to explore other options at big man.
Right. I'm not saying that I read they were after him. I'm saying that he would be a good fit.
Oh yeah.
He will be a good.
And he's available. He is available. I mean,
he can shoot the 3-pointer and go inside. and got a download game.
He just got a nice NBA body for download. That's
Exactly.
more what it is. You know, he's not going to get pushed around. You know,
Right.
So
Right.
that kind of stuff.
We got to address that. We got to address the center position.
Oh,
And
now we're gonna slide over to available fits. Huh?
Go
ahead.
Before Drummond.
Okay. Well, Drummond, we're still waiting on. We don't know what's gonna happen with Drummond. You know, that's that. I wish there was a third team to jump in that kind of thing to lessen the prices a little bit for as far as what the Knicks have and what they want to offer. But I don't think a lot of people want to pay anything close to what he requires, because that money per year is too much. Like 26 million a year or something like that, right?
He is
It's
not
ridiculous.
a $26 million.
Not a $26 million man. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure Julius Randle and his 19 million is looking at that like, boy, I would love to get that 26, you know. So, and we have to address that too coming up. So we'll make a decision on it. But we'll transition on. We all had a little take on that one. I'll let you guys bite off a little bit of this. Available fits. LaMarcus Aldridge at 35 as a step out, 10-foot, 15-foot around the basket shooter, free up a little bit of the inside, because right now our team is relegated to the lobs down low, man. It hurts sometimes to watch, especially when those passes go up and somebody's not realizing that it's an actual lob turnover. So, between Mitchell Robinson and Noel, man, they're trying their best. They're giving us everything they can, as far as ability. And Mitch is still on the come up, and Noel is actually playing better than I've seen him play in the past and stuff. So, every game he's coming with a 5-finger discount at the rim, basically shutting them down, right? So, it hurts that we're not getting a little bit more point production from down low. And that's what teams are starting to use. Earlier in the season, they were using the zone defense because they weren't shooting that well. We picked up the shooting a little bit. Now they're just either beating us up inside or taking that away from us altogether. And we're not the type of team that's going to absorb that, So, I threw LaMarcus Aldridge in there. He's old, and he got a lot of money. But, he's an expiring contract. Honestly, I couldn't even come up with a toss-back deal that would make sense for the Spurs. They would just want to get rid of him.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
With the Aldridge deal, okay, so this is one of the things that I think we got to factor in. Of course, these teams want to make a trade because they want to get something in return for the player that they're trying to get rid of. The reality is that as we get closer to the trading deadline, they're less likely to get a good return on that investment. And so the question that I think we have to grapple with is, should we wait until these guys get bought out, because they're not most likely are going to get picked up before the trading deadline, and then entertain the possibility of signing them, to the veteran minimum so that we could have to the end of the season. So I say that to say, whether it's Drummond or Aldridge, if I'm the Knicks brass, I would go in that direction. I'll wait those guys out.
Yeah.
I'll run the risk with those guys. I wouldn't run the risk with Lonzo, but I'll run the risk with those two guys.
Agreed.
That's just my thinking.
Yeah. But the only thing is that the buyout market includes Heat, Clippers, Lakers, Sixers, Nets, those kind of teams that are competing for titles. So, you might have people that do like what Blake Griffin did. I want to take way less just to join a team that's trying, and then we get bought out of that on the low end, because we would love to pick up Blake Griffin, not Blake Griffin, I'm saying, but somebody for $1 million, $2 million real quick on the buyout market, But we're not in a position to give them a title, so now they're gonna just take less to go to a better fit for them personally.
But that's where I would say, okay, there's certain players that I'm willing to run that risk.
Yeah,
because I know that probably long term, I'm not thinking about them in the long term. If we pick up Drummond, for example, after he gets bought out, the reality is that he's only going to play this final second half of the season with us, because I don't think the Knicks would re-sign him at $27 million a year. He would be a quick fix for now towards the playoffs. That's about it. But I'd run that risk. If I lose him to Miami, so be it, because I wasn't going to re-sign him at the end of the year. That's just my thing.
These guys, no, you're right, because some of these guys we don't have to do that. We have to play that game. You know, we have to just see who ends up in there. There might be 5 centers that end up in there, bought out by their teams that that were just too high to trade for. Everybody's in that in that bucket, so we have to take our shot. You know, like you said, I agree. You know, some players you go ahead and you make that move because you know they're going to re-sign with you, and you actually looking at them as a future piece. You know, other guys you're just trying to be like, you know what, we're trying to seal this hole down low and maybe increase our playoff position and have a good run at the second round or something like that. You know, that's really what the reality is for anybody who's coming on at this point. You know, it has to be a fit, can't be a splash player because we're not going to break up the whole team and change our whole offense and everything we've accomplished so far. We just need a couple stopgap, plug fillers or guys that can shoot from the outside, And there's plenty of them out there, Okay. You ready for the other fit? Or did anybody else want to comment on that guy? On Aldridge?
Yeah. Again, this all just you're saying is basically to plug a hole in the offense to carry us into the playoff, and that's it. This is not a long-term solution to a need in
to fix the center position. That's
right.
all season.
So, is there a long-term? That's why I brought in the kid from Indiana. That's more like a long-term situation. Like why we wasting money for 3 months just to play a couple of extra games in the playoffs? I mean, who want? I want to say, like, what is the philosophy here? We got into a decent position in spite of the fact that we didn't think that we were going to be that good this year. So hey, let's take baby steps. Oh wow, we're here. Let's try to get in there the best we can. And if we can add something that is long term, right now, I would go that route rather than just let me get this guy, Drummond for $10 million for this year, and then money just to address that. I would like to see long term, a way that we can address these things long term with some kind of a trade deal.
Yeah, that's understood too.
If Knox and those guys are not going to be, and Ntilikina are not going to be, I know we're going to have to give away somebody. Bullock, Burks, one of the killer bees. And it better not be RJ anyway.
No. That's on the.
Look at King Poppy.
Yo, King Poppy, you need to calm down, bro, because Clemson is out, okay?
Yo,
so don't make me have to go there, all right? Don't make me have to go there. Let's get the long-term situation. At whatever position it is, and like you said, we got 2 major holes: point guard and center. Well, and like I keep saying all the time, I'm gonna hand you the mic right now. Like I keep saying it all the time. Right now, we are point guard by committee and center by committee.
And second option by committee.
Second option by committee.
By default. Yes. By default.
Yeah.
Take it away,
no choice.
I agree. I think that if we really want to get Lonzo Ball, then we should just go out and get him. He's the one that I'm really stuck on. These other ones, Marcus Aldridge or whatever. I think that what Henry said is how the Knicks are thinking. I was reading an article where Tibbs was basically saying what Henry was saying. Like he said, this was a project to develop a young team. So let's stick with that. Let's not now try and rush the process. He said that there's, this is Tibbs. So this is your coach.
That's your coach. Last night he wasn't my coach.
No.
And too many more of those games. He ain't gonna be our coach either. Don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
We're not there yet.
I say that jokingly, but I really like that.
But other than that, I'm thinking along the same lines. We can wait and get guys like see what happens with like Drummond and LaMarcus Aldridge, because LaMarcus Aldridge is his mid-30s. He's not going to be around for several seasons. So
35.
He's 35. So let's build it the right way then. you know.
Yeah.
And it may be like Henry said, it may be Tibbs that's going to have to leave. If they build a certain team and we're still not winning, then maybe they'd have to move on from him. I doubt that because these guys that we're targeting, along with the team that we have, are defensive minded. So, like Lonzo is a very good defensive player. So I think that I really think we should just go out and do what we need to do and get that guy. The other ones we can wait around and play the game with the other teams. So with that being said, let me throw it up top to Santana. How you feel about that?
No, I agree with you, Bill. I'm all in on Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Because I can see his value now and in the future.
Right.
And he's 23 years old.
Yeah.
And we know what we're getting. He's a proven commodity. So there's no argument on this. As a matter of fact, I want to start a campaign, man. Get Alonzo. Get Lonzo. Get Lonzo. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I feel about that. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Those other ancillary type of deals, they're not more of a priority for me. But I don't know what else Dream has. So whatever else you have, I don't know if King Poppy want to chime in, but other trades that you heard down the pipeline, we could chop those up too.
Yeah, I mean other fits, Evan Fournier. I'm mostly when I came up with this list, I was trying not to kill our money, deplete our draft picks, and take on longer term contracts than we needed to. Right. So Evan Fournier fits into that. I don't know what you guys feel about him as a player. You've seen him a couple times now in the Magic. He's a solid shooting guard. He's actually younger than he actually looks on TV. I couldn't believe that he was only 26 years old. He looks more like 30 to me, but
hey, he could have forged his birth certificate. You never know.
I don't even know, but he is on an expiring contract, 16 mil also. He's another player. If we wanted to waste that 16 million, if not, then the same deal that I mentioned about that would get Ball here. Knox, Burks, and probably a second round pick would probably do it for Fournier, not even a first round pick, And he's a solid shooting guard who plays defense, and he does, he's a smart player. I think of him as a smart player. Doesn't take stupid shots, passes the ball when he needs to. Ball never gets stuck in his hands, and he's always been solid. Around 17, 18 a game type of deal, and he does play a little defense, and he's 6'7", so he's deceptively solid player all around. So he was another one I had on the list. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. I'll throw it around a jump ball. I gotta go grab a charger.
You're muted, Henry.
You muted. You muted and you're breathing.
King Poppy, you're muted too.
He gave us a game. Don't forget now. Didn't he throw away the pass that Bullock intercepted?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should be thankful, right? Bring him in. We should reward him for giving us that game. I don't know. So no, I rather I am neutral on this guy. Yes, he's another one of those Knick killers, but then they come to the Knicks and they become, third-rate players down at the end of the bench or something like that. I need somebody with a higher ceiling, more, potential that I can see with just the eye test, that I can see he's still got somewhere to go. I think that at 26 or whatever you say his age was, I think he's reached his ceiling. I don't see where he's going to get it way better than what he is now.
I'm not talking about him long term, though. I'm just talking about him to help us get through this playoff run.
Okay.
Do you feel that he's better than Knox and Burks? Burks is a tough one because we've seen him play.
I don't think he might be equal to or less than Burks. If you let Burks give him the minutes that Fournier gets, you'll see the difference. Fournier gets his 32 to 38 minutes a game over there.
Yeah.
And he's in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He's
one of their solid players.
Yeah. They depend on him. So,
Yeah.
but look what happened last night. As soon as Burks was handling the ball in the second half and in the fourth quarter, we were a better team. We were a better team.
But that's Burks running out of the point guard spot,
Right.
not the two.
But
That's not what Fournier will be doing.
he's a good shooter. He's giving you 18 points out of the
Right.
point guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I would take that any night.
Hmm.
Yeah. So no, I like him better. Even though I've seen Fournier more than I've seen Burks, I like what I see out of Burks. And he might be older. They might be the same age. What's the age difference there?
I don't know what Burks' age is. I have to look it up, but
Because he's been around for a little bit.
yeah, but he's not an old player.
No, he's not. And he's good, man. This guy is solid. He's a solid player.
I like
You know?
him. I like him
He's
too.
not helter
No, I do
skelter.
like him, yeah.
He doesn't throw the ball up there in crazy. When he sees
Makes
an
the right plays.
opportunity, he dives to the basket, and you know.
Sometimes though, I've noticed that he'll try to make some no look pass and all that. He'll throw the ball away quite often. He does that sometimes.
Okay.
Not now. He was doing that prior to him. This is weird. Prior to him giving the point guard assignment, I noticed that about him. Once he's been given his point guard assignment, it seems like that part is going away from him. He's handled the ball. You know, he starts to even, you know, he gets in his groove. He's dancing out there with the ball, and he's a good shooter. He's a good shooter.
Solid. He's 29 years old. I just looked it up.
29?
Yeah. So he probably reached his ceiling too. But his ceiling is good.
So you would get a younger player out of Fournier if you calling them the same player.
No. You told me he looks like 30, bro. So he's older. He looks like 30, man. And with that beard, maybe if he shaved the beard, he might look younger. Either way, I think they're both at the same level to me, and I like Burke because he's showing me this year. And I understand that he bounced around a couple of teams, but man, this guy's a solid player.
Yeah,
he is. Some people are just overlooking his skill set. He's better than a journeyman. He's better than just a journeyman.
I honestly think what's happened with him is that he's just been on teams that end up drafting a better two guard than him. So he started out like on Utah, and then they got Gordon Hayward and those type of players, right? And Dante Exum at the time was a little bit more, giving him a little bit more than him. So then he started his, like you said, journeymanship around the league and stuff. And he's played like on Philadelphia and Golden State, but we knew he wasn't going to be staying in Golden State, those types of things, you know, like, so he's been around, you know. But that's also built up his confidence to a point where he knows he could go anywhere and be effective.
Exactly. He's given him some good experience with some top-notch players in every one of those teams, where he brings that experience to this team. And we also need guys like that on the team. Remember, we had this conversation way back. It's also good to have a Taj Gibson on your squad. It's good to have, I think in the bubble, Santana was trying to tell me about, what's his name, in Miami, that he doesn't even play. But he's an
Adonis Hamza.
Adonis. You know, it's good to have a player like that on your bench and in your locker room. Yeah. And that's what Burke says, a younger version of that, because he gets on the court and he says, this is how you do it. And this is how you do it.
Oh, no.
What about King Poppy?
The warm weather got you up there, didn't it?
The snow. The snow melted. Yes.
Snow.
So what's your thoughts, King Poppy? What are your thoughts on this latest scenario that Dream brought up?
Well, you caught me right when I'm picking up the food.
Okay. If you want, I'll go, and then you pick up the food.
I'll pick up next.
Okay. So this is what I think. I mean, Fournier, he's a good shooter, but you say he makes what, 60 million, Dream?
Expiring, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is one of those kind of guys that I have to question in terms of what is it going to take to get him? Because I don't want to give up a lot to get him on an expiring contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if I have to give up assets to get him, and I don't see him. I don't see him in the long term for the Knicks.
Right.
Now, if he gets
Yeah.
waived, if he gets waived, then I don't have to give up assets, and I just pick up the rest of his contract for the last few games that he got left, and give him the veteran minimum. Then yeah, I'll bring him in. Why? Because he can shoot. He's another shooter. We could never have enough shooters on the Knicks, but I wouldn't trade for him before the trading deadline is expired, because I don't want to
Okay.
give up too many assets to get him. But if Orlando
Yeah.
buys him out after the trading deadline and he's a free agent, I'll pick him up. I'll pick him up because I think he's a good shooter. He's a crafty player.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Happy
the way
player, gets his
I
shot
would
off.
approach it. Yeah, that's the way I would
Okay.
approach it. That's my take on that. So Poppy, you want to take
Yeah.
it from there?
Yeah, nah, and I agree with you. And I agree with you and Santana because it's the experience, the knowledge, the quick know-it-all. But it's a tough one. Just like you said, Burks got that same knowledge, but dude can shoot the ball way better. But thank you. I'm with you. I don't want to trade for anything. I want to get everybody for as cheap as possible because right now we got four first round draft picks. There's no reason to jump ship for all this other crap because everybody ain't everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this pandemic, here, grab that. This pandemic has put a lot of people behind the ball, strength wise. So we really don't know everybody's potential. At the end of the day, people dropping some, people get better, people lethargic, people complacent. But I'm with Santana on that though. I don't want to trade. I don't want to give up much anything unless it's a guarantee. Ain't nothing guaranteed out there right now. Even these first rounders that we're gonna get ain't guaranteed. They're young bucks. They're gonna have to be trained and coached and showed it. But right now we do got a good core of veterans that can show some young bucks how to be a professional. And that's what we need to think about before we make any moves.
Yeah.
So it's we've been on the bench, for lack of a better term, for 30-something years. It's and it's because of the management, the business management of in office. So if they really want to change something, and they're not changing the people who make the decisions. So they need to stay with what we got, get somebody for cheap, and keep it pushing.
Okay. I just wanted to ask a question. What position is Mr. Barrett going for?
Bench.
Is he the
He's
two
going for
or
a
the
bench.
is he the 2 or the 3?
It depends. It depends. I always use the bench. Hilarious. I always say he's either one. Whatever the Knicks are going to go after and bring in, he's the other. Right? So if they're going to go after in the offseason, we're going to bring this up, a Devin Booker or somebody like that. If we're going to go after that, then Barrett's obviously going to be out of here or the 3. So one of the two is going to happen. Right? So that's what I'm saying. If we bring in a person like Markkinen or somebody like that who's going to play the 3 or maybe the 4, we don't know yet, you know what I'm saying? Then Barrett slides to the 2, but then we lack the shooting there because he's not a knockdown shooter either. So, it's tricky. Our style of play is going to be determined by our moves in the offseason. That's how I'll leave it, and his style of play particularly,
And when you break it down like that, it makes me think that they're gonna use him as a tool for a trading block in the future.
It's possible. It's possible because I mentioned, I don't know if he was on the show yet. Because I mentioned earlier in the show that one of the underlying moves the Knicks made earlier in the season is they flipped Knox into a 4-year deal and they flipped Barrett into actual money too. So he's not really on a rookie deal. He's in an actual money deal. So he counts like $9 million. So, that also helps, whatever.
Yeah. So, like how you break it down, if they have to push him to a true shooter, which he is not right at this moment, that puts him on the trading block. To me, my eyes, if you're looking at it as a business move. So, if you bring somebody in to move him to another position, you brought somebody in to replace him.
How do we all look at Barrett? Is Barrett a 2 or a 3 to us? I guess that's where we need to start. Like, how does each individual person looking at Barrett? Because he keeps changing positions every time a new rotation comes in.
Yeah.
Burks come in, he's a 3. If he's out, and somebody else comes in, Bullocks is in, and he's the 2. So it's constantly on the fly too. Is the other thing,
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it ain't fair to him because he can't get consistent in one spot. So I mean, I feel for him.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen the man do good. Right now, he's still a puppy child. But it's based on experience.
Yeah, man.
Listen,
not bad.
Barrett.
What?
The only thing that Barrett is not is a 1 and a 5 and a 4. He could be a 2 or a 3. Those positions are interchangeable, man. Okay, he's a slasher. He goes to the hole.
Yeah.
Nobody else other than Burks goes to the hole. Even Bullocks is only shooting 3-pointers out there. And Randall is stepping further and further out every time he gets the ball. He's making them, but so the only man that's flashing to the basket, you need somebody that cuts to the basket. Every time that ball goes to the corner or to the middle, and the double team comes, you need somebody to say. That's what you got Barrett there for. Okay? And don't get down on the kid that is 20 years old and he's averaging 16 points a game for the
in a tough city.
In a offensively challenged team.
Oh, I agree.
Because if he had a sharp shooter out there outside, he'd be putting 24.
Yeah.
Because you have more room to go down the middle. Because he'll take it to the hole. And that's what he's doing. He's getting better and better and better at that. And if the Knicks don't see it and they ship him out, he's gonna do that to us when he comes back. Or he's gonna do it on another team. He's gonna become a better version of what you see now. Okay? So that's it. That's what Barrett is, man. He's not Zion, so maybe we need to stop comparing him to a number 1 pick.
No, it's not even that type of game. He has a whole different type of game.
Right.
Yeah, both of
I
them.
wouldn't compare him to any. I wouldn't compare him to Zion. I wouldn't compare him to Ja. Ja has a different game. He's more of the point guard. It's a totally different thing. We did good in that draft. We did the best we could with our position.
Listen, man. And not only that, the kid wants to stay here. He wants
to stay here. He wanted to come here, and he wants to stay here and build something.
He's not a KP.
He got better than that. Well,
so out of the last 4 or 5 number 1 picks, he's the best that we got.
Yeah.
And then I dare say, KP was good for us for a little bit before he got hurt, but Santana always tells me, man, big guys and leg problems, it's a wrap.
And guess who's available now? KP is back on the market. So that's what I'm saying.
They're trying to dump him on somebody else.
And everybody tried to tell the Knicks they did the worst in that deal. And now we're sitting with the 2 top number 1 picks. Their team is not doing any better, and they're about to ship him out to try to replace those picks that they gave us. And that's what I'm saying. So
the picks. All we got was the picks out of it, not players.
And the money dumps. The money dumps.
That's huge. That's
all
huge.
those contracts. Yes.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing.
And we dodged a bullet by not having to sign him for the albatross contract that he has with Dallas. That's what we got rid of. And we got rid of his brother. We got rid of his brother. His brother's the problem, bro.
Just talking.
Yeah, and we did
get rid of Don King or something. Yeah.
No.
the other $70 million man that we had.
Yeah, Hardaway.
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 That was
Hardaway,
another
that was it.
contract.
Got rid of that bad
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. So yo,
So
we
that's what I'm
got
saying. They
relief,
did us
bro.
a favor.
We got
Yes.
salary cap relief,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
So
Because
what
now
I'm
we got
saying is,
flexibility.
with all of that,
Yes.
let's work some of that stuff. Let's not try to like pay off somebody to be our savior. We've been down that road before, man. We've been
Well,
down
that's what
that
we're about
road.
to talk about right now.
Okay, tell us.
A couple of saviors. All right. So I remember one of the first games. Man, Santana sat down. He looked at me and said, "Hey, man, how would you make the Knicks better?" And what did I tell you? I don't know if you remember.
I
I
don't
said, "My
remember.
boy." I said, "Devin Booker," and he was like, You remember now? I
Yeah.
said, Devin Booker
Yeah,
is the guy. And
yeah.
that was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2-3 years ago, right?
Yes.
So, you know, they talked about some of these guys that want to get out of their contracts. You know, some news went out a couple weeks ago. Wendy was out there talking about, oh, there's a guy that's going to force his way out of his current situation and try to get over to New York, and everybody tried putting the pieces together right away and saying, oh, you know, blah blah blah. All the dots connected to, or they think the dots connected to Devin Booker. So I guess let's explore that. Why not talk about that, right? Because to me, that's probably a little bit better deal money-wise and draft pick compensation trading way than Bradley Beal is going to require. So we'll go with that one. You know, and I think honestly he's a better fit because he plays both positions, point guard and shooting guard, well, very well. You know, and right now he's thriving. A lot of people haven't thrived with Chris Paul. Side by side, he's thriving. They're both doing well together. So,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, that's not a bad fit. You know, I'm not saying that they would, you know, willingly break up that team.
Right.
But if he wants out, he wants out. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is
In
what
other
it is.
words, you heard that he wants out?
I didn't bring that up. Brian Windhorst made that story. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That was behind the scenes. That was behind the scenes. This was a couple weeks ago. He put that out there, and then people started to connect the dots, and that's what they came up with. Then the next story that came out was with I think it was Jay Williams and my boy I forgot his name right now, but they have a show together, and they talked about it, and he's the one that put the dots together.
Jay
Like you
Williams
said,
and the kid from Michigan.
Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose?
Jalen Rose.
No,
and,
not Jalen Rose.
Not
The
that
kid
show.
that played for us in the Jets, the wide receiver.
It's
for the
okay.
Jets.
It's okay. Okay. So you're talking about Brian Cox. Brian Cox.
No, the wide receiver. He
Oh,
used
the
to
wide
play. He was like, give me the damn ball. That guy.
Oh, Keyshawn.
Keyshawn
Keyshawn Johnson.
Keyshawn.
Keyshawn Johnson and Jay
Yeah.
Williams. They have a
And
they
Jay
have a show with another guy
Yeah.
also. So
Yeah.
they started putting the pieces together the next day, and
Right.
that's how they came up with that it would be Devin Booker. And I was like, okay, well, let's talk about Devin Booker and what he has, right?
Go ahead, Bill.
Go ahead, dive in.
Boy, Devin Booker. I would love that dude over here.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah.
We'd be a top 4 team in the East perennially,
Mhm.
and I think we have a smart enough management team to be able to build on that in a smart way, and we would, we'd be looking good. But and even if we'd have to give up, of course, a number one.
Oh,
and
a whole boatload. You give me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, what
wanna
do
hear
you
it?
have there that we have to give
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
You want to hear it? Here. Hold yourself a little bit. Ready? It's Barrett,
Mhm.
Obi,
Uh-huh.
Knox,
Uh-huh.
Alfred Payton, and 2 first-round picks.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
not 2 first round
Oh,
picks.
hell no.
Now that's too much.
That's a lot.
Why?
That's what everybody says. But this
that's
guy's
a lot.
putting it up. He's
For
filling
one
it up. man.
guy?
Yeah.
One guy,
For
bro.
one guy. He's gonna make all the difference for us. What happens to the center?
That's the next deal.
But Booker's
That's
already
Yeah,
next
but we got
deal.
nothing else to do with
It's
it.
not.
40
It's
million.
not just bringing him by himself. It's not just bringing him by himself. It's bringing him along with somebody else. There's a second part of this I have to say. To add to that.
But before
Which
that,
would be Carl
Wait.
Anthony Towns.
how much
Let
is
him
he
finish.
making?
Let
How
him.
much is he-
Hold
what's he
on.
costing us
Hold
financially?
on. Let him finish packaging this. Let him
Packaging
finish
the whole thing.
packaging it. Yeah.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So you give that first setup for Devin Booker, right? Then you call up Minnesota because Carl Anthony Towns wants out. So this is the one that I'm catching a lot of flack for, right? Where I said, and I'm not sure that 2.0 properly set it off for you guys the other day when he threw it out there, the Randall for Towns, right? And the reason I say that is because
Old people
you
lie,
could
right?
bring Towns here. He's a little bit younger, right? So the Knicks drafted Obi Toppin this year to replace Randall, right? I mean, we all agree on that, even though because we didn't know what Randall's future was going to be, right? We had him for another year, and as he was
They
playing
did
last year,
initially. That's what the thinking was.
that's what they drafted him for his replacement. That was his replacement. Then Randall
You
came out
think
with this
Obi
all-star
was
season.
ready to replace Randall?
No,
You're not
I'm saying the
listening
Knicks
to the
drafted
question.
him.
Right.
You're not listening
The
to the
Knicks-
question 2.0.
Yes. The Knicks drafted him to be his eventual replacement because they were not sure on his play last year if they were going to sign Randall long term. Not on his play
Right.
this year. Separate
Right.
this year from last year because last
Okay.
year he wasn't this. Okay,
Okay.
so that's what I'm saying. So that being said, you would then stick with that plan, right? Trade Randall out for the next biggest thing you could get and slide in Obi into his position, right? And that's how you replace that at the 4, right? It hurts, yes, because of what Randall's given us this year, and but we would be getting back a younger, also all NBA player who basically gives us everything minus the assists, right? Because Big Cat can also shoot the threes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. He shoots threes, and he's a big defender inside. So you shore up your center position. You already drafted your replacement for Randall. I'm not saying Obi is Randall, but I'm saying he can give you something at the 4. Now you shore up your 5, and you have your 2. Now your team is. That's how I laid it all out. We can go over the numbers. You guys, let me know how you feel about that.
So
Who wants to go first? I said I was
who's left
tossing
on
this
the
up.
team?
Oh, you would have.
Who's left on the team first?
Okay, so hold on. You ready?
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us
Hilarious.
who's left on the team.
So who's left on the team? You still have Alfred Payton, right,
Oh,
running
okay.
the point,
Uh-huh.
backed up by Quickly,
Okay.
or Rose, because you could always bring back Rose, in the backup. So you have Alfred and Rose. Then you would have Booker backed up by Quickly at the 2, right? At the 3, you would have Bullock. You would still have Bullock on the team, and I'm not sure whoever it would be. We could find somebody in the offseason and try to fill in behind that. But and then your 4 would be Obi sliding into the starting position finally, right? And getting more than 7 minutes a game because we don't know what this guy's going to give us because he just gets sporadic minutes. And then your 5 would be Karl-Anthony Towns. So, backed up by Noel.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So
You waiting for
basically,
somebody?
we'd be losing. I got you. Basically, we'd be losing RJ
And
a
Randall.
couple
And
players
Randall. Yeah, and
2
Randall.
first-round picks, right?
And Randall.
And Randall.
Yeah.
And Randall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, Randall goes in a
That-
separate
to
deal.
me,
Barrett
that's a
goes to
tough one
Phoenix.
to swallow.
Yo.
Yeah,
No thanks.
that's it.
Yeah,
You know what you're doing?
yeah, I don't-
I tell everybody else. You're
If-
changing
if-
seats on the Titanic.
No, I know you're saying that, but it's not really though. It's not really. You're making room for everybody to fit in the office to play.
Well,
No, I see what
listen,
you're saying, but-
listen. Obi could turn out to be another Frank. That's all he is to me right now.
Oh man, that's to you.
Okay,
Yes.
so
He
don't tell
hasn't
me
had no
that-
minutes to
that-
play.
That he's gonna replace. That he's gonna replace an all-star. Please,
Let me-
in
let
one
me tell
year.
you. No. That's not what you're saying. You're thinking I'm saying Obi's gonna replace Randall. No, the all-star replacement is Karl-Anthony Towns.
Karl-Anthony
for Randall.
Towns.
That's the replacement, bro. And then you give Obi a chance to develop. That's what I'm saying. It's not 1 for 1.
But
You got to think
but-
bigger
but-
picture.
but is Carl Anthony that much better than Randall?
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying he moves over to the 5. Right now, we have a hole at the 5. We're getting face punched in every game at the 5 position. And if it wasn't for MB being out, we would have been embarrassed in the last 4 games.
And
That's what I'm saying.
And
Right?
then now what's gonna happen is we're gonna get embarrassed at the 4.
No, you're not going to get
Every
embarrassed. at
night.
the 4.
Every night. That kid doesn't even play
No.
defense, bro.
No. You don't know what he does. He gets 7 minutes a game. What are you
Because-
talking about?
because-
he was the best player in college basketball. The best player in
It's
college
not-
basketball,
it-
guys.
But it's not
that
the
doesn't
fact
always
that he
transfer
can
into
get
the best.
7 minutes.
What was that?
Yeah.
Strong enough to run the 4. He's just not strong enough to hit that 4 by himself. Randall's got some man strength on him, so that's why he can play 4, 5, 3, whatever. Ain't nobody else that we got on that bench is strong enough to take up that spot physically.
I know, but we just started. You said earlier.
5.
Yeah, you had said earlier though that the whole shift of the 5 is going to a big 4, right? So Obi can step out on the 3s. He can step out on the 3 line to defend the 3s. Or if Randall is not really getting out on him. We're getting beat up by a lot of 4s who can shoot 3s.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you on that one now. I'm with you on that.
You know, that's all I'm thinking. I'm thinking like
that makes more sense.
You get 5 times better at the center position, and you never get beat up down low again. Because he doesn't ever get beat up. He's an all-star player. 20 and 10, easy. You know, maybe 25 and 10. Karl Anthony Towns. You know, he's from New Jersey. He has roots here. He wants to be back up northeast. I don't think he wants to be in Minnesota anymore. You know, and I'm never saying that anybody is better than Randall, but if you could flip Randall and move him over and then make room for the guy you drafted, what are you gonna do with Obi then? It was a waste as 6 or whatever, 7, 8, whatever we picked. All the guys this year have gotten 20 minutes a game. The guy, first number 1 pick, Anthony Edwards, getting like 20-something minutes a game. James Wiseman getting time to play. All the guys. Killian Hayes till he got hurt. Even guys that got drafted after him. We seen the guy in Sacramento. Halliburton. He's running everybody all over the court because they're on the floor. Right now, the Knicks don't have room for him to put him on the floor. And that's part of the issue and what's hurting his development. You know, I'm just saying that in a way to open up the offense a little more. You know? And that kind of thing. I'm not saying Randall is not worth keeping or extending. You know, if you want to do that, that's fine too. But then you better hope that, like you said, you can pick up somebody at the center position because we're gonna have the same issue all over again. Plus, Randall signed for 5 years, so even if he gives you 5 years or 4 years or whatever, it's Clay, you're still gonna get beat up at the center because Mitch and Noel are not gonna do it. Not starting.
Just saw a report. Elgin Baylor passed away, guys.
Ah, man, so fun. I never saw him play, but I know he was a legend.
Yeah,
yes, he was. Elgin Baylor.
No. Maybe I try to pick up that jersey. But yeah, so that was my toss out. I'll toss it up. I'll toss it up. Anybody?
Listen, that if it's a possible, deal. It sounds good. Like I said, you're trading one all-star for another all-star. You shoring up one position, but you're weakening another position. You haven't really improved the team to the degree that you have those 2 positions down pat. Oh, you also said that we're going to be getting Devin Booker in that deal. That's a lot of money out there now. For Devin Booker, that's what I wanted to know. Where? How much is Devin Booker? Costing us? Isn't it 40 million right now?
Oh no, it's so basically Devin Booker and both of these guys just signed 5-year deals. Devin Booker is for 150 million and Karl Anthony Towns 158. So basically what we're starting out is 29 million per, and they go up to 35 and 36 respectively. Oh, we have the money. It's not that we don't have the money, right? Because if you're gonna sign Randall for the 25, you might as well give it to Karl Anthony Towns. It's the same thing, or whatever, the 29, whatever, because we have 16 million in reserve. Let's not forget about that. So whatever our most expensive guys are, you could add little monies here and there, to make these deals work. The Booker, giving up our draft picks probably the biggest thing. In both of these deals.
Yeah,
we probably have to get three of the number 1, not for Booker, but 2 number 1s for Booker and at least 1 number 1 for Towns.
We restructuring the whole team, man. And this is what we do every 2 years. And I'm tired of that move, man.
But it's not working. So what are you going to do? Stay with this plan that doesn't work?
This is 1 year with these kids and this coach. 1 year with this coach. He already turned us around. And because you saw a little turnaround, you think, oh, let's blow up the ship and let's rebuild it.
No, I'm saying let's add to it. Let's continue to build. You have to keep building. It's not blow up the ship. I get it.
When you change those 3/5 of your offense, center, guard, and small forward, and you have to give up on RJ, so you got the 2 position also. You remaking the whole team right now for me, man.
Yeah, for all NBA players.
You
Though, I'm
got
not
4
wasting your
faces,
time with.
4 new faces on the scouting unit.
There you go. Yeah,
Check this out, fellas.
Yeah.
Check this out, fellas. Let's do this comparison. Let's just look at the comparison, because as you guys are talking, that's what I was doing. So here we're comparing Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. Okay, both of them, center forward, forward center. Okay, rebounds. Let me just put this up a little bit so that way you guys.
Julius beats him in every
Okay. Hold on.
man.
Just hold on. 2.0. Let me get a chance. We're just breaking down the numbers. That's all. So right now, obviously, Julius has an edge over Towns in the rebound department by 0.8 or 0.8.
1.
And then in terms of assists, okay, Julius has 1.8. 1.8, yeah. Steals are pretty much a lock. Blocks, okay. Towns has more blocks. And then points, Towns has 0.1. So they're pretty evenly matched. Now the question is also, what's their age and what's their contracts? I got to look for how old
Towns is 25.
Towns is 25. And then of course Julius is 26.
Might be 27. Oh, okay.
He's 26.
26, okay. Right. Now we got to look at salaries, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I could find salaries. Yeah.
Julius is on 19, expiring.
All right. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm pulling up.
Okay.
Julius here. Let me just pull his stuff up. I'm doing it in the background, so just give me a second.
No problem.
Oops. And then we're gonna look for Timberwolves. Hold on. Timberwolves.
You're getting the same player in a different position. So now you got weaker at
That's what I told you.
and you got stronger at center.
Yes. But
And when you add 3 new faces to the team, now there is a period of adjustment.
My question is, are you happy being the 7th and 8th seed for the rest of your life?
Not for the rest of my life.
That's what we're fighting for right now with this current team that you don't want to blow up.
And that's why I got all of those. I say wait to the end and let's go after whoever is available out there. And I say go get that kid from Indiana, man. Go get that kid from Indiana. I said no. He comes cheap and he's a worker. Okay, he's not a superstar.
Right, he is.
He's a worker. He coming in there. He's a blue collar worker. He rolls up his sleeves every night because he has to prove himself to these guys every night. Okay, he's not a prima donna. Okay, what's his name? Miles Turner. That's the guy to get. Miles Turner. We got to make this team better, not blow up this team to make it better. What's the process? The process is, let's go every 2 years. Let's go get us a superstar. You know what I'm saying? This has been since Bob McAdoo. I don't know if you even know that name. We brought in Bob McAdoo at the end of his career from the Buffalo Braves.
The Buffalo Braves. I remember McAdoo.
Bill, you there? You were there.
I remember it.
Okay.
I remember McAdoo.
That's the first superstar. Then it was, before Xavier McDaniels, it was Spencer Haywood.
Okay. Before we go off on a tangent, let's stay here.
Jesus.
Let's stay here, fellas. We'll get to the Bob McAdoos of the world and everybody else. But here's the rundown on Karl Anthony Towns, okay, in terms of salary. So he signed through 23-24. Obviously, he has an escalating salary, which is 29 right now, 31 next year.
36.
33 in 22 and 36 in 23.
And how old is he going to be in 23?
Well, he's right now, what is he?
26.
30. He'll be 30. He's 25.
Okay, yeah,
so
he's
at
25.
30 years old, he's going
So
to
we
be
get
getting.
it. We get him in
Okay.
his prime. This is his prime.
Okay, calm down, Henry. Calm down, brother. Take it easy. Take it easy. It's not the end of the world. We're just comparing numbers, bro. That's what we're doing. Take it easy, brother. Now we got Julius. Right? Julius is 1 year older than him. He's got a contract 2021 right now, 19 million, and next year 21, another 19 million. So his contract obviously is more affordable. That's definitely the case
For the
here.
same player.
Well,
For now, he's gonna want more money though,
yeah, of course, he's gonna want more money.
because now he's earned it.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
Yeah,
He
he
deserves
deserves
it.
Yeah,
He
There's
earned
no-
it.
There's
Yeah,
no
he earned it.
question about
absolutely.
that. There's no question about that.
You know?
No.
Now the thing is, okay, and then Henry was talking about Miles Turner, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for Miles Turner. So we can look at him and then we can look at the numbers and we can have a very informed conversation instead of just reacting. Let's react with some numbers. So just bear with me as I pull that up. But go ahead, continue the conversation and I'll keep looking up the numbers, okay?
Yeah.
Let me just close this out for a second. Stop share. Okay. Now, I look at that trade and I say, well, if I could try to pull a deal where I'll include Obi and trade Obi, I'll package Obi to the Timberwolves to bring in a Towns to partner up with Randall. If I could pull that bad boy off,
Yeah,
I would do that in a minute.
But that money is Randall's money that we need to go offset Towns' 29 million.
Well,
That's the problem.
The good thing is, okay, so if let's say, for example, we did get a Towns and we still have Randall, we can sign Randall to, we could use the Larry Bird exception. When he's on his walk year, we could sign him to the max, regardless of how many, contracts and salaries we have on the team. So that wouldn't be an obstacle, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any type of luxury tax involved, Dolan will just pay it.
Yeah. So the other part of that then is does the Minnesota satisfied with that? That's the
question. That's why I say
right.
It's a matter of packaging.
Yeah.
You package Obi, you package a couple of first round picks. I would do that.
You get a third team involved in a deal.
Yeah,
That's how
I
you
would
need
do
to
that.
do that.
I
so they
would
can
do
pop
that.
their player off. Yeah.
I would do that.
Well, call up Orlando and see if they'll send Aaron Gordon there. That type of thing.
Right.
If you wanted to swing, you know what I'm saying? Like, rather than them sending him to Houston, that kind of thing,
Because obviously, I mean, that's a big salary. What we would be helping Timberwolves with is, first of all, salary cap relief. Mm-hmm. We would get them other assets like, first round picks and or some players to match up in salaries. So now let's look at Miles Turner. Now, Miles Turner is another value guy. And I'm going to share the screen momentarily.
Can you compare him with Evan Mobley?
Who? Mobley?
Yeah.
No, he's trying to say Miles Turner is a good piece to add instead of like a Karl Anthony Towns, right? Is that what?
Okay.
I'm just bringing. I didn't say instead of.
Not you. 2.0. I'm saying 2.0. That was his.
Oh yeah.
His toss.
Okay, so it's gonna come up momentarily here. You guys should be seeing it momentarily, and then we could look at his numbers. Here we go, and then y'all could chime in. So this is Miles Turner. Okay, so he's younger. He's younger than Towns and Julius.
What is he? 24, 25? I can't see it.
Yeah,
he's a year younger than Towns.
Yeah, he's a year younger than Towns. And he's got a great salary, 18 million. So
18.
He's a bargain.
Yo, I'm telling you. That's the move. Mm-hmm. If I was sitting in the war room, I'd be looking for Turner. I'd be looking for a way to get that bad boy in here. That's my center. That's my center right there. What?
Yeah,
Who am I
but
trading?
they give him to us for nothing.
Uh,
That's what it comes down
they-
to.
I don't know. I don't know what they be
They
asking.
had-
What they would need. What they would be asking for. I don't. You know. I'm just saying that I will go after him. I would have to hear what it is that they want from us. But that's a deal that I will be trying to make.
They probably want Mitch and something else.
Mitch, Obi, and first round pick.
Yeah.
I think that's too much for an $18 million player. No. Nah.
Yeah, but think about this though, Henry.
I like him.
He signed through 23 at 18 million. So
So I
that's
get
a
him for
bargain.
what,
That's
2
a
more years.
bargain.
Okay.
No different
Okay.
than Randall. Randall right now at 19 million is he's a steal in this
Yeah,
market.
that's why I said he's gonna want that more money. That's coming.
Not for long.
True. He's gonna
He's
want
going up
more
to
money.
25.
I agree.
That's right. And it's okay. He deserves to get it. But Obi and Mitch, maybe. Remember, I like Mitch. Let's get this straight, because I'm the only one that defends him on this forum. You guys say, man, his footwork is no good. He doesn't have a basket game.
He doesn't.
So then, package him.
We keep it real. We keep it real.
Package him with Frank Ntilikina and Obi, your boy, and send them over there. But I would not give him a first round pick too. Hell no.
Not at all. I agree with 2.0.
Yeah.
We can't.
But that's what they're gonna. That's gonna be the trigger for them. Give me one of those first round picks. I ain't worried about these other guys.
Okay.
I don't think anybody will give them a first round pick and 2 picks that are worth it, because based on the salary, there's no upper hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't get $10 million for 2. and that's basically what you're giving away when you give a first round pick with that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
With what we're giving with him. If we give those 2, we don't need a first round pick with them.
No. Mitchell and Obi? I mean, you guys just told me Obi was going to replace Randall.
Yeah, but dollars wise, he's not making a whole bunch of money like, substantial.
Okay.
You gotta eat into that. I mean, we do have reserve. The ultimate thing, the bottom line for the Knicks is that we got $16 million saved. So if we need to use that to help pay to get a player here, then I guess we could dip into that. You know what I mean? But if you're not using that, and we want to use that $16 million to attract another player here in the offseason,
right?
Already we have our guys under contract. We just use that $16 million to hold somebody else. Then that's what that reserve is.
Listen,
it was to absorb another major contract.
Right.
Decided that's not the way we would go about it. We don't want to absorb a Drummond or an Aldridge at 20-something plus $million.
No.
To then eat into that reserve for this year that's going to be gone, and then we'll be stuck with the reserve is gone too. You know what I'm saying? So it has to all make sense.
So this is the thing. One of the things that I think, these are good possibilities, whether it's Karl Anthony Towns, whether it's Miles Turner, those are reasonable things to consider. It's just a question of what is it going to take to make it happen and make it where it benefits the Knicks the most. Now, in terms of Obi and Mitch, I don't have a problem packaging those 2 cats up in exchange for Karl Anthony's and Miles Turner's, or Miles Turner and a draft pick here and there, and keeping Randall, because I like Randall. I think the fact that Randall has been able to go through the guillotine last year, he took a lot of criticism, especially from 2.0. I took the wrath for Julius because I was still defending Julius last year, and 2.0 was giving it to me. And I said, you know what? I'm sticking with him. Sticking with him. And that's okay.
He missed a 15-footer for the win last night. So let's not talk too much about Randall.
Listen, I'm sticking with him. Sticking with him. Okay.
For the win.
That's okay. But he also put us in a position to be able to go to overtime by hitting the shot.
You mean that lucky bounce?
Hey, I'd rather have luck than no luck at all, brother. Okay? Yeah. I'd rather have luck than no luck at all. So, absolutely.
He doesn't want to do anything.
You know what
Just
I'm
wants to
saying?
yell at the players and be an AC, maybe. Or
Yeah,
maybe an AC.
yeah.
You
You
Nope,
gotta
know.
do some stuff,
not,
man.
not with Miles Turner. I'm not going to be an AC. Not
Well,
with
listen.
Miles Turner.
Again.
See,
Indiana
but
has them right now.
you guys want to go from eighth to first in
But
1 year.
Listen, so what you're
Mhm.
telling me is that with Miles Turner, we're all of a sudden going to be this squad team, right?
We're going
But
to
Miles
stay
Turner
where
plays.
we are or get better. We
He
are
plays
fifth in the
right
East.
next. Hold on, breathe. He plays right next to Sabonis right now. And if Sabonis and Randall aren't the same player, I don't know who are, other than skin tone. Okay, so that's you already see how
That's
he
a
would
good
operate.
point. That's a good point.
Indiana has a whole team, right? It's about the same as the Knicks, if not a little bit better, a little more seasoned the last couple of years anyway, right? When they get Karis LeVert back, they'll be a little bit better.
They're more
But
of a
what I'm
winning
saying is
franchise.
they're more of a winning franchise, right? And their team has been playing together. Brogdon is a pretty good guard, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is their construct, their last couple of years, they've made the playoffs and stuff like that with Turner. They haven't broken the top four. They haven't broken the top four with Turner. That's all I'm saying, you know? So is he going to come to the Knicks? Okay, I mean, would it be 5, 6, 7? Okay, fine, we'll be happy with that. You know, I just happen to think with a couple of other guys added, you know, I get the whole breaking up the team and restarting and all that stuff like that. That's never the
That's
way
all.
you really want to
That's all.
go. The other way to go is you're gonna stay small. There's no available centers. That's what you call it. Poppy was talking about. There's no available big guy centers, man. You gotta go get one with some money and assets and be effective, or give into the idea you're gonna get beat up down low. And that's what we're looking at now. We're getting beat up down low. You know, there's games. Noel can't stop anybody. A couple times he comes and gets the block. Yeah, we're happy about that. But for the most part, the other teams are doing 20 points down low, and we give in 10, if that. On a good night, 15. You know, if Taj gives us something. So that's what I'm saying. We need to figure out or come to a consensus on what is the best plan of action going forward.
Well,
Right? We have an all-star forward. Good.
yeah, no, I think these are all possibilities. You know what I mean? They could definitely improve the team and position us in the long term because you got Carl that's signed through 24. You got Miles signed for another couple of years. So definitely, I mean, there's a possibility. The question is, what is it going to take to get them on board, and also, how does that impact the final roster? And that's up for debate. We could debate that all the time, but at least we have potential ideas here that I think are doable. Because
Doable.
with the Karl Anthony Towns situation, the question that I think Minnesota has to ask themselves, and they did that. They signed Wiggins to a major contract, but they traded him away. Why did they trade him away? It's a small market, and that small market. Now I'm talking finance. I'm not even talking about dynamics. I'm talking numbers. Okay, Minnesota is a small market, and if they're losing with Towns for the kind of money that they're paying them, no different than what they did with Wiggins, they probably would entertain the idea of trading him. So that's why we have to at least keep our ears open, ears open and eyes open to the possibility. Now, what is it going to take to get him? That's where I would sweeten the pot. If it takes trading Mitch and Obi and a couple of first round or number one pick or what have you, I'll do that deal and package him with and have him with Randall, pair him up with Randall. I'll do that. I'll make that move. You know what I mean?
Based on
go ahead.
2.0. No, 2.0. You go first. You had it up.
But that's not the deal that Dream proposed. Randall leaves.
No, but
switching it up a little bit. It's okay.
I'm switching it up. I'm saying, look,
up a little bit.
I'm using the construct of the deal that Dream has proposed and saying, okay, I like the concept of it, but I would swap a different player or a different combination of player, as opposed to giving up. I think in that deal you were giving up Barrett and Randall to get him.
No,
Barrett leaves for
Barrett was
for Booker. Okay. But yeah, I'm just changing a few players because, of course, I think there's another way that we can get them. The other
Right,
way that
and
we can get them is giving them, salary cap relief, giving them a first round pick, and giving them 2 young players. And I think they would go for good. Go ahead, King Poppy.
I think you're on to something there. But based on what you also said, like they spend that kind of money and they're not getting that kind of return. Merchandise, concessions, none of that stuff. I think that's the upper hand to not giving up too much because they don't want to get deeper in the hole with him because of his contract. So, I think it's after you saying that and breaking it down that way, I actually think we got an opportunity to get him without giving up so much. Maybe 1 first-round draft pick, and quickly, and somebody, or maybe 2 people and some money. Who knows?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, let's say that $6 million is in reserves. Let's say they need $15 million to get something going in that building. That
they could do that. That's an option too.
You see what I'm saying? So
So
if they're losing money based on more than the pandemic and merchandise and this and that and this and that and other contracts that they still have pending that they have to pay even after trade.
Sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
You might be right. You might be on to something because they're in need of relief.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Small market.
Salary.
Bill, you wanted to chime in?
And he doesn't want to be there either. Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be where?
Towns.
Towns. He does. Oh,
Towns doesn't want to. He wants to be home. I told you I think I shared with you guys the other day. Six members of his family died because of COVID. He had COVID himself. He does not want to be out there. He wants to be back home, man. That guy, get him home.
That's crazy.
The Knicks need to make that happen. If they don't have to get Randall, they need to get him.
Yeah.
Bring him home.
He might go in and say give up money to come back home.
He might do that too.
It's affecting him so bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be
sweet. We
That's
could benefit from that.
That's a Nick dream right there.
Oh, there you go. but it's reality. This is a reality we live in, and these are things that are affecting people personally. So
the finance is real.
Well, not even that. The
COVID
disease and COVID. You know what I mean? Like somebody who has 6 host family members die. That's something personal to them. You know what I mean? Like you can't quantify that into dollars. It would just be like, I just want to be home, man. I want to be back around my family. Forget about Minnesota. Like get me back close to Jersey. Even if we're not the ones that benefit from it in New York, I'm saying in his head, he wants to be back home.
Don't say that. I don't want him on the Nets.
Nah, for real. He coming back this way. No, I'm with him. He's coming back home.
Yeah, he's coming back home.
Who's gonna take him?
Oh shit! Please.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bill. Chime in. Go ahead, Bill.
Nah, I'm in agreement with everyone else. If we can keep Randall and get him, that's a move.
We'd be something to talk about. Yeah.
That's the move to make. And I also agree that based on his current family losses, he may be willing to, give us a hometown break or deal or what have you, and come here for 20. You may want to do something like that.
25 is fine.
25, and then we can keep Randall here for another 25. Hey, listen, we'll be right on our way. We'll be one of the and if we still are able to get that Booker deal going.
And not even talk about that. We got to talk about that.
Top, we fighting up there with Brooklyn, Philly, easily. Easily.
And that's what I'm saying. It's time to take the next step. Like, not just bring guys in. All NBA players are a whole other level of team. Like, look what Brooklyn did. Jesus, that's what I'm saying. And if you're gonna blow the salary cap back out, then you might as well do it for the best that you can. I get these other moves; they'll slowly move us up the ladder.
Right.
I think Dream froze now.
He froze on us, yeah.
Well, listen, the Booker deal, man. That would be a tremendous deal. The thing I think about that deal though is unfortunately, I don't see Julius Jones, who's their GM, giving up on Booker. Okay,
I don't
this
either.
guy, this guy, he came from Miami, right? Came from Miami. He was a loyalist there with Pat Riley. He learned how to build a team, and that's what he's done with Phoenix. And he's done a tremendous job in Phoenix. And he knows Booker is the franchise. And the experience that he's got with Chris Paul now is only gonna take him to a whole nother level, because that's the impact that Chris Paul had. Believe you me, I would love a Booker.
Yeah.
So I'm not poo-pooing the deal. I'm just saying from a realistic standpoint, it's hard for me to believe that Julius Jones is gonna just trade him away.
Contract.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because he is the franchise. And you know, I don't see why they would trade him. Why would they trade him?
Yeah,
Okay, he may want to leave, but if he's getting paid, the team is nice. They're young. They're up and coming. They got nothing but upside. Now, if we could get a deal out of it, I'm all ears. I'm all in to entertain it. The question is, damn, are they serious about trading him? That's hard for me to believe.
Yeah, me too.
No, I agree. I think he's gonna have to pull a James Harden.
Right.
Wow.
Show up.
Is he that unhappy?
And I'm not saying. I don't know. I have no idea.
It seems
Honestly,
that way.
I have no idea.
It seems
I have
that
no
way.
idea. You know. So we'll see.
Because
I agree with you, Santana. Like I wouldn't do it. I don't know why somebody would do it, because top-notch shooting guards that can play two positions are super hard to come by.
that
Not that
guy
many in the league, and there's only a few, and they're very special players.
and that
Harden type, you know.
and that guy, and I want to take it back to what you originally said. You know, whether it's Beal or him, I go for him.
Him, yes.
I go for him. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
He's a superstar in my eyes.
Yeah. At two positions. He could play the point guard.
He's a superstar. You know, it's just hard for me to believe that, man, if I'm Julius Jones, if I trade that cat, you better get some value in return, because that's your job on the line, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you got a franchise player. I wouldn't trade. Go ahead.
Oh, if they do something like that, they must have a plan in place of what they're going to do with the return. Like, if let's say they get the 2 number 1 picks from us or something like that, and Barrett, right? They might take that, package it to move up in the draft to the top spot or something like that, to pull Cade Cunningham or something like that. It has to be for something else. You're not going to trade away your best player and an all NBA player at that. Not just your best player. He's like one of the best in the whole NBA, you know? So, you know, I get that. I get that.
Is
that
Cade
thinking,
Cunningham
you know?
much better than Booker?
No.
But I'm saying you're going to get the best coming out of college, you know? Like,
right.
You know?
Right.
So,
you can't compare Cade to Booker. Booker, man, that cat is
Nobody.
no joke.
Man, no.
That cat is no
serious.
joke.
And he's young. Yeah. You know what? He's still developing too.
He's on another level.
Yeah.
I think he's class by himself personally.
Yeah.
That's why I was.
Yeah.
If they trade him, there is something eternally going on in the locker room that ain't being talked about,
and that's what I think is really going on, because when you're that young and you're that good and you pretty much got the keys to the Cadillac and you don't want to be there, something ain't right. And it ain't money, because his contract is nice. So you know, at the end of the day, I guess we also got to play devil's advocate. Is there something wrong with this kid? You know, why?
Or sometimes guys just don't get along. James Harden didn't get it wrong with Chris Paul. Chris Paul hasn't been easy to get along with in all his teams, and they blew up the Clippers because he was having problems with Blake Griffin and DeAndre. It didn't work out in Houston. OKC, it did work out in OKC because he had a bunch of young guys that just followed him. But he was out of there and went to Phoenix, you know. So, you know.
I agree. It happens, and there's very teams that they are a complete band of brothers.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're all professionals that sign a contract to play.
Yeah.
he wants to leave, something's just not adding up. 1 + 1 is 2 at any length. So I don't. There's just something there something small, and I don't know that it'll affect us if he came. I just want to know what it is.
Yeah,
you know, it could be that he don't like the way they run the offense or call the defense or where they rotate certain. I don't know what it is, but it's something that they're not talking about, and that's what that's the only thing that concerns me with any trade with anybody that's like that. Because when you're building something, you definitely don't want to go get bad apples. So I don't see bad apple because the stats don't lie, but we don't see those closed doors either. So I'm just curious on why he don't want to be there personally. I don't think that it would. I don't see anything in his body language that would make me feel like he wouldn't fit, as long as we're not giving up the world for him. So I'll be with it. But at the end of the day, I just don't know what that one thing is, because that just like you said, not many people knew Chris Paul was a diva. It took years for people to just start talking about stuff like that, and then nobody wondered why they couldn't win nothing, or why they only went so far, or why those little small bad apples stop you. They put playoff roadblocks. You get to one session and that's it. Because for whatever reason, they're not meshing together when it gets that far deep into the thing. And I don't know. We got to find that answer out.
Well, I mean, the question I have, and this is going for 2.0, because I see him there, and I know this is where this originated. Barrett, because of course to get a Booker, it would probably take a Barrett to get him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, what do you think about that 2.0? Is he frozen? Oh,
about what?
If the Knicks were to trade for Booker and they gave up on Barrett, what's your thought on that?
Again, I'll take it back to what you said and what Big Papi is saying. What's the problem? They're number 2 in the West. Okay, they brought in CP3 to take the point guard responsibilities away from him so he can become a 2 guard. They're giving him everything that he wants, and there's still a problem. So, what's the problem? So, Booker as a player is fantastic. But what are the issues? What is the baggage that you bring with you? And how is everyone else going to feel that now, we're supposed to all, bow down to Booker, because he is now the new face of the Knicks. How's that going to affect Randall?
He won't be here. Don't worry about it. Be Karl Anthony Towns.
How would that affect Karl Anthony Towns? How would that affect Karl Anthony Towns?
I just want to throw that in there. No, I'm just saying,
absolutely. But what if, because if in this whole scenario is Anthony Towns and Randall, and then go looking for a Booker type or even Booker himself to fill in that third all-star of the that trilogy, okay, that you need in order to win a championship. Because 2 all-stars don't get it no more. You need
get you close.
You need a baby steps. So now we're going back. Okay, so we're going back to what the Knicks should be doing. Baby steps. We got 1 year to do this baby step situation. Next year, or in free agency, or during the summer, whatever is available out there that can help us, or whatever trade we can make, I'm all good for looking at it. But I'm not all good for breaking up a team in the middle of a season to try to put it together to finish out to get into the 5th spot of the playoffs.
Nobody's saying break up the team in the middle of the season. This is off season. Calm down. It's okay. All right. During the season, we're just gonna bring in people who can massage this out the rest of the week. Okay. make this ride. Make sure our tires stay inflated, so we don't blow out flats in the playoffs. You know,
Oh,
we're
right.
gonna blow out flats anyway.
That's bound to happen.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to I'm trying to pick up a couple of airbags, make the impact less hard when I smash into the wall in the second round or the first round against Brooklyn. That's what we need, a couple of airbags. Right? So,
Yep.
in the off season, really is we make whatever serious move we're gonna make if we feel we need to make it. Like I said, this is all just conversation about how to make the team better. We finally have assets. We finally can have these conversations, man. A couple of years ago, we could never have these conversations.
That's the important thing.
Miles Turner would be the top of our board right now. That's what we're talking about. So we're in a good position.
Right.
I feel good about where we are, even to have all this 2-hour-long conversation about the possibilities of what would be.
Mr. Bill, what do you think? Do you think there's something there in terms if there's smoke, there's fire as it relates to Booker?
I didn't hear anything, so I have to just rely on what King Poppy's saying in 2.0. They've heard things, then I don't know.
It's not necessarily that I heard anything. It's just like Santana's putting down. It's the smoke, that's fire. If he's wanting to leave and he's been given everything he's wanted, there's something's not right. And so I don't think it's going to be talked. Just like I was saying when Dream brought up about Chris Paul, most people don't like him. That didn't come out for years, so I don't know that we'll ever know if there's something with Booker. But it just seems that way because he ain't happy. He wanted to go.
Yeah, I mean, he could just want a bigger city. I've been to Phoenix. Anybody been to Phoenix? It's like going to Brooklyn. Maybe he wants just a bigger spotlight. Like it could be cool downtown. It's probably the size maybe of Orlando downtown. And those 10 blocks and you out into the suburbs again. But that becomes a problem for some players. They want to be in a bigger city, more lights, camera, action on them. That kind of deal.
Okay. If that's the case, I think he could handle it here in New York. And I'd certainly love to see if he can handle it over here, even at the expense of RJ Cardozo.
I don't think Dream knows the backstory. I don't think Dream knows the backstory on that. Tell him the backstory, Bill.
You adopting people? What's going on? 2.0.
Yeah. Bill's gonna tell you the backstory. Okay, Bill.
Yeah, what was that? Was that last show?
Yeah, it was the last show. It was the last show.
And you were sending in, some comments.
Yeah. I was watching. I was just at the airport, and there was like way too much noise and announcements going on. That's why I didn't get on.
Well, what happened was 2.0 was going hard for RJ, man. He was. And only point that Santana and I was trying to make is that he is not yet a reliable number 2 option for the Knicks. Yeah. He's not yet. So 2.0 wants to call him. Well, he said the Killer Bees are second option by committee. Santana says this is by what?
By default. By default.
So I said. So then I start calling Mr. Barrett 2.0 son. I said, you taking it to that dude like you adopted him. Is that your son? So then I start calling Mr. Barrett because he's trying to tell me to give him the J back. And I said, no. So I gave him your last name. I apologize to you.
That, huh? Yeah.
But, you have a new brother. You have a new little brother.
Oh, God.
Hey, hold on. I didn't know I had another cousin out there.
Don't worry.
Breaking news. When
you see him at the game, you say, yo, cousin.
What's up, cuz?
And you could talk to him at the cookout, King Poppy, about how he needs to put his strength up.
The family reunion next year.
Trust me,
Dominican Republic.
There you go.
My point was that we are making him out to be the second option. And what we might be pushing that a little bit faster than he has been able to develop into. He wasn't brought in here to be the second option to anything, because at the time that he was here, okay, we still had KP, we still have Morris, and we still have Randall. Now, where is he going to be the second option in that unit?
How many years ago was that?
That's 2 years ago.
And what number pick was he?
He fell to us number 3. So what? We weren't thinking about him. We're thinking about Zion.
So you don't think the expectation was?
We weren't expecting to draft him. He
Wasn't
was
expecting
not on
anything.
our board.
Yes, he was. He wasn't
That's
expecting
the
anything.
name.
You fell for the fanfare. That's all you fell for. That was it.
Oh,
Until
oh.
the NBA says you have the number 1 pick, you don't have anything. You can't expect and draft off anything. That was what the problem was with New York. Everybody in the world was like, "Oh, the Knicks are getting the number 1 pick." And then what the NBA did, they changed the numbers on how you get the number 1 pick, and then we started to. That's what happened. So outside of that, you just draft what you get. That's it.
And that's all he was. He just was the player that was there that fell to us.
Yeah, because
Not
the
that
problem was
not that we
for
were
Zion.
scouting him to be the number 2 option.
But
That's not the
Zion
way
was
he
what?
got
Going to replace? Was he going to replace Randall?
No. We're talking about that.
We didn't have Randall that year.
The year that we drafted Randall, it wasn't because we
picked
him to be the
up
number 2.
Randall in the offseason, right?
You picked up Randall.
What? We picked up Randall in the
sorry.
offseason.
When we drafted RJ, KP wasn't here.
No, he was gone.
Yeah, he was gone already.
Yes, you keep saying that.
He was hurt.
I was going to let it go.
He was hurt.
But he was gone.
hurt.
He was in the offseason being traded because he did not want to be here anymore.
But
Him and his
Randall,
brother was la all over the airwaves talking about F New York, basically.
So
He was
got him
injured.
out
KP was injured, so he
He
didn't get
was
to
injured.
play with
Remember
RJ.
Remember we were at the game, he blew his knee out, he tried to jump over somebody and dunk. He blew his knee out. That was the last time we saw him ever. And we said that. I hope this is not the last time we see this guy ever. Because he's up for a big contract. Never saw him again. Never touched the floor. Barely touched the floor in Dallas.
that was
So he was on the roster, but he got traded
Traded
the
in the
same
offseason.
season that RJ was being
Yeah,
drafted.
he did not
So-
play with him.
so he didn't play with Marcus Morris and Randall
He played with
He played with Marcus. He played with Marcus.
and
With
Randall
Marcus.
and
And
Randall.
Randall. Yeah.
So
Last
how
season.
But those
So how
guys
is he
were
the
brought in the
second
off
option?
season. Those guys were brought here in the off season.
So you're telling me that the New York management said, let's bring in RJ to be the second option.
No,
I'm saying we didn't have no
drafted
options.
him.
We
They
were
drafted him to be the
changing the whole
franchise.
team. Yes, they drafted him to be the franchise. Correct. Yes.
And that's what I
And
said.
all these other guys that they brought in, the Randalls and the Marcus Morrises, were just to be stopgaps. The thing you keep forgetting is that Randall stepped his game way up this year. Way up into the All-Star category. And now you think his whole career was like, it was a good career. It wasn't All-Star caliber. Right now he can't be stopped on the offense.
But he came in here and he was still averaging 20 for the Pelicans, no?
And that's okay. That's okay.
So how's Randall going to be better than him coming in here as a rookie? I mean, RJ.
Listen,
because he's a proven NBA player, and RJ is coming out of college.
All right. That's what I'm saying. That the expectation about him being the number 2 option coming in out of college, I don't think that was correct. Even if whoever had it,
just said it. If you bring in Randall as the first, then who's going to be the second? Because you didn't have Morris. Yet. Morris was late ad.
Fizdale had him practice. Listen, Fizdale started him as the point forward.
Yep.
He started him as the point forward. Remember that first game of the season, he started at point forward. That's the kind of reliance that Fizdale put on him.
But that doesn't mean that the whole world and the whole Knick fandom is saying it's now that he's the second option.
Yes.
Oh well, then that's what you believe.
And because he
listen. 2.0. Stevie Wonder could see that, brother. Stevie Wonder can see that. Not just me. Stevie Wonder can see that. Ray Charles can see that.
God bless them.
Jose Feliciano can see that, brother.
Make me hot over here.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Listen. When when RJ got drafted, he's touted as the franchise guy.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's touted at that. Even though we didn't get the desired pick, if it would have been Zion, he would have been the franchise. If it would have been Morant, it would have been the franchise.
The
So we
franchise,
got the consolation prize, which is RJ, and RJ was and King Poppy could speak to this because King Poppy has been watching RJ prior to him getting to the NBA, and RJ was touted as being ahead of Zion until Zion came to Duke. Am I
Yes.
wrong, Poppy?
Not wrong
Not
at
wrong.
all. Poppy, you can
And-
answer, but I answer too.
Yep,
And,
100%
and
correct.
let me add,
That's 100%
let
correct.
me add to what you're saying. Okay,
You don't have to
RJ was touted as better than John Moran until John Moran blew up in the NCAA's.
Okay.
Okay,
Great.
so what are we
Even
saying?
better. Thank you. Thank you
So
for
he's
the
still getting one of the
ammunition.
top 3 players.
Which
Thank you
means,
for the ammunition.
which means that he's not the number 2 option on the Knicks coming out of
Wait
college.
a minute.
I can't.
That's
Yeah.
your definition of 2.0. The
Yeah, I
reality is
I
this.
can't.
The reality is this. When he got drafted by the Knicks, they were leaning on him as that franchise player. That's just the reality, bro. That's not Knicks fans saying. That's the franchise was saying that. The Knicks franchise were expecting that. They were marketing him that way. Now we could talk numbers. They were marketing RJ as the guy as the entire season last year, in spite of Randall trying to do what he's doing and not producing at the level that he was producing this year. Okay, the guy that was being marketed was RJ, all over the website, all over town. What does that tell you? That's their franchise. That's who they're trying to promote as the guy. Now, when he got to the team, of course, reality sets in. He's a rookie. He's going up against Randall, who's a veteran, who's further along in the process. No different than Morris. Further along. Again, Morris is a stopgap. A lot of these forwards that the Knicks got were stopgap. Randall was the only guy that they signed to a 4-year deal. Why? Because they anticipated that Randall potentially could be that second guy. And I say second guy because the franchise was RJ. Okay. Now, the tables have turned. Randall now is having a career year. The franchise realizes that, and now RJ realizes that now. And as a result of that, RJ now realizes he's got to play second fiddle to Randall. He's got to, because Randall is playing at a whole nother level and more consistent than RJ. Now, whether RJ can prove his consistency, that remains to be seen. And that's what we've been questioning. We need him to be the second option. But the problem is his lack of consistency. Now, you could say maybe I'm making it up or whatever, but it's there, bro. The proof is in the pudding.
Okay.
The marketing is there.
So
I didn't make it up. That's what it is.
You done?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. So then, if he is or was marketed to come in here and be the second option, who was the first?
What?
He was brought in here to be the second option. Who was the first?
No, wait a minute.
Nobody said he was.
Nobody said that he was marketed
brought-
to be the
he
second
was
option.
He was
Nobody
marketed
said
to be
that.
the
You're saying that.
franchise.
He
So
was marketed
what about,
as the
like-
franchise player.
So then this year, you're saying that he is now the second option. Is that correct?
Listen, he fell up a
It's
notch.
a yes or no answer.
It's
Is that a
whatever
trick? Is
answer
that a
I want to
trick
give
question?
it. I
Is
can
that a
answer
trick
it
question?
anyway. No. I can answer it anyway. I can answer it. Okay, I'm gonna answer it. Let me answer it this way.
Yes
Let me
or
answer.
no? Is he a
What-
second option this year?
I'm gonna
You're
answer your
expecting to be the
question.
second option this year, right?
I'm gonna answer your question. The
That's what
same
I'm
way you answer my question about Saturday when we had that conversation about Levine. When you answer that, when you are honest with me, then I'll be honest with you. Because
Let
you
me be
don't
honest-
remember that
Let me
conversation.
be honest with you, man.
You don't
I don't-
remember that
I
conversation.
don't remember having a
Yeah,
conversation.
okay. There you go.
So let's move on to another conversation because you're not gonna believe that I'm telling you about that conversation, and I don't want to go back to something that I can't remember. Sorry, I can't help you there. You're gonna have to
Yeah, okay.
just stay there. Maybe one day. So what I'm telling you is this: who's your second option right now, Bill?
What you got, Bill?
My second option
Yeah.
is your son plus the other two guys, like you said.
So we got a second option by committee.
By I like Santana's word better.
No,
Default.
By default.
Well, I don't care how you put it.
We need killer bees.
Well, however you put it, this is what I'm telling you. That second option on the Knicks is by committee. One day it'll be Burks giving you 25. One day it'll be Bullock giving you 25. And one day it'll be RJ giving you 25. And if they all can give you 15, you're in the game in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Or
That's
better yet,
my final answer.
Or better yet, one day RJ will be giving his same 15 points to the Phoenix Suns, and Devin Booker will be giving 30 points for the Knicks.
He's gonna take some Randall shots, huh?
Yeah. Randall can play with him.
Randall-
I'm confident that Randall could adjust his game to play with Devin Booker.
Randall's gonna have to defer.
And there would be a better combination. There'll be a better 1-2 punch than him and Mr. Barrett.
I would. You think? See, that's what I was about to say. I think that if somehow let me spit it out. I think Booker can bring RJ's game to another level. I don't know how much better Randall can be with Booker. I'm not saying he's gonna make him slower.
He's gonna take shots from him.
But I don't see him elevating anymore. I can see Booker elevating RJ's game just based on his inexperience, and is gonna give him the opportunity to crash the boards on if they go run and shoot. But I can see all three of them playing together. I can see two of them playing together. But I can see more coming out of RJ.
No, I would definitely want to keep RJ. I mean, if we could get Booker and keep RJ, I would definitely like that option. I just want to rub this in the 2.0. That's all.
So we got RJ. Oh boy, look, we got RJ, Booker, and Randall.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
No Towns.
Without that,
because
we can get that one.
Because that would definitely reduce the number of 3-pointers that Mr. Barrett be taking.
Exactly.
Definitely. And I would love to see that.
I would graduate him from puppy child to dog child.
I think he's cut down on the threes, man.
He has.
He's making a few more of them. So that he's only taking 5, and he's making 2 or 3 of them.
And that's good.
Yeah. And that's all you want from him. I want him to be slashing to the basket, man. That's his game.
And he's a good finisher with either hand.
That's the main thing. He's ambidextrous, man. And
he's still got to tighten his low post shots there, because he's throwing these floaters out there and not using the backboard like he needs to. But he's okay.
I think he's doing it because he's not strong. He's getting beat up down there, so he's trying to add that fadeaway to it, and he's pushing it too much instead of knocking it in there.
Right, or using the backboard.
Or using the backboard, like you said.
Yeah. But yeah, man, look, man, we had a nice spirited debate. We on 2 hours now, man. We're gonna have to do a part 2 at some point, maybe after the trading deadline. Then we could do an analysis of that. What do you guys think about that?
I like that idea.
Excellent.
I'm good with it too.
Yeah.
This one was good because we were able to go back and forth, debate things, and look at some stats, and give our opinions and stuff.
And now trade deadline is like what?
Thursday.
The 2 days from now, Thursday.
Thursday at 3 p.m.
by then.
3 p.m.
That's the deadline.
Okay, so then we'll be hearing a lot of stuff in the next couple of days.
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something before the end of the night.
Yeah, go. I gotta go and keep my ears open to NBA TV.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, what we'll do is, I mean, we got an episode tomorrow because the Knicks are playing tomorrow, and then we got another episode on Thursday because the Knicks are playing. So we could do the post trade episode. Either Friday or Saturday, or we'll figure it out. And then we'll see. Maybe the Knicks make a move that we got to talk about. We're gonna have to talk about. I think the fact that they haven't been playing, let's say Eldridge, is telling. Maybe he's on the way out. Who knows? Because they don't want to get anybody else hurt that they could potentially trade. You know what I mean? Because then that'll kill the deal if the guy gets hurt. Yeah, and that's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing with a lot of teams that, like Drummond. Cleveland isn't playing them because they don't want him to get hurt. It'll kill whatever trade value. When Brooklyn decided to trade or waive Blake Griffin, not Detroit tried to waive Blake Griffin, they stopped playing him. Because they were looking to see if they could get a trade in return. So I could see the Knicks doing something like that too.
Oh boy.
So we'll see. It's going to be interesting in the next few days.
48 hours, what we got?
Yeah, we got another show on Saturday too.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah. So we got Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Tuesday, Thursday, the Wizards. And who's Saturday?
Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
So you know what?
Back home to Miami on Monday.
We can do a third show on Friday. We'll have consecutive days. We'll have 3 consecutive days of shows.
Either that, or we could do Saturday. We double up. We do, our normal pregame, and then current game, and then we could talk trade, analysis. Okay. It's up to you guys, based on you guys' availability too.
Right.
We'll figure it out between now and then.
Okay.
All right, fellas.
All right, brother.
On to college basketball now.
Yes. I'm watching Michigan and LSU, man, down to the last minute.
Oh, man, let me go watch some of that, man.
That one in the Florida State Colorado game. Watching both of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, fellas.
Okay, guys. Good night.
We'll talk, man. We'll talk. We'll talk tomorrow, man. Tomorrow noon.
All right, perfect.
All right, brother.
All right.
Later.
All right, later.